Hey everyone! Today we are going to be making this little cutie, Levi Ackerman. So let's get straight into it and we'll talk about the materials, but you can see we've got this little part which just adds some definition to the mini keychain doll. And yeah, I love it. So, okay, materials, let's go. First of all, we're going to be using 4-ply cotton yarn, and we're going to need the following colors: black, flesh pink, white, brown, light gray, darker brown, and that will be all. We'll also be needing either 6 or 7 millimeter black safety eyes right here, so make sure you have a pair of those. Then you'll also need some pins, so I usually use just these regular pins over here. You'll also need either a sewing needle or a tapestry needle. Either one is completely fine. Then you will also need a pair of cutters, a 1.9 millimeter hook, but feel free to use anywhere between a 1.75 and a 3 millimeter hook with 4-ply cotton yarn, or if you have your own type of yarn that you're used to, feel free to use that, plus your regular hook size. This pattern should come out the same. And finally, of course, we're going to need some fiber filling, which is what you use to stuff the body with, so grab yourself some of this as well. Okay, let us get started in making Levi Ackerman. Okay, so just start off by using light gray colored yarn and make a magic ring. If you don't know how to make a magic ring, go check out my beginner tutorial playlist where you can learn a bunch of techniques and then come back when you know how to do them, and then come to this tutorial. Okay, so we've made our magic ring, and I'm just going to quickly show you now how to make a single crochet stitch the way that I do. There are 3 different types, but I'm going to show you one type right now. So this is where you have the yarn coming underneath the hook. So can you see that the yarn is under the hook? That's the first thing you do. And then the second step is where the yarn goes over the hook to pull it through those 2 loops on the hook. So again, we used yarn under and then yarn over. And that's what I do throughout this crochet project for my amigurumi characters. So if you want to do the same thing, feel free to do that. If you use other techniques like yarn over and yarn over, that's more than fine. They'll keep those stitches nice and tight. And if you use yarn under and yarn under, I'm sure you're already familiar with crochet. So feel free to continue doing that. Okay, so what we want to do is make 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So we have 5 currently. Let's make the 6th one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Then pull this little yarn tail to close the magic ring. You can see the magic ring is closed right there. And then enter the hook through the very first stitch space. That was the very first stitch that you made. And we're going to continue out this project, finishing each round with a slip stitch and a chain 1, just like that. Okay, so we're up to round 2 right now. And for round 2, all we want to do is make an increase in every single stitch space all the way around. So there's my first increase right there, and if you don't know what an increase is, it's just 2 single crochet stitches inside the 1 stitch space. So that's my second increase right there. Let's make a third, 1 and 2, a fourth, 1 single crochet stitch followed by the second, the 5th, again 1 and 2, and finally number 6 single crochet increase. There we go. So now we have 12 stitches in the round, and we'll finish off again as always with a slip stitch and a chain 1. For the third round right now, we're going to do the following: a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, and you want to repeat that all the way around, total of 6 times. Finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, so we're up to the 4th round now, and in the 4th round you want to do the following. First of all, make 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And just before you finish that 5th single crochet stitch, I want you to change the color to black. So grab some black 4-ply cotton yarn, or just black yarn in general, and then weave that black yarn through those 2 loops on the hook, just like that. And that's how you change yarn colors right there. From here we're going to make a spike bubble stitch. So you want to wrap the yarn first, Don't come into this next stitch space, but come directly underneath it in this section right here. have these 2 yarn tails over the top of the hook, just at least for the first one, and then pull that black yarn up, pull it up, and then pull it through 2 loops on the hook. Make sure you get through all of those 2 loops, and then just repeat that another 2 times. So here's the first one, pull through 2, wrap the yarn, same stitch space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. From here you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on the hook, and then you want to change back to your gray, light gray colored yarn and pull it through all 4 loops on the hook. Then from here you want to continue with another 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And same as before, you want to change the yarn color to black on that 5th single crochet stitch. And then we're going to make the second foot with that elongated spike bobble stitch as well. So wrap the yarn first, pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, same space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. One more time. Same space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. You've got 4 loops on the hook right here. This is where we change our yarn color back to gray and pull it through all 4 loops on the hook. Give your little black yarn a little bit of a pull right there. And then you want to continue weaving that black yarn on top of the hook, just at least for the next stitch, and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to that 6th stitch right there, which technically means the 18th stitch of the round, what I want you to do is change the yarn color to dark brown here. So this is where we're changing our yarn color to dark brown. Oh, I can see a little bit of a knot here, so we might pull this out first. And there we go. So you're going to pull through that dark brown colored yarn and then finish off making your slip stitch and chain 1, but have the 2 yarn tails over the hook as you do that. Slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, so we're up to round number 5 right now. So let's continue it out. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 brown or dark brown colored single crochet stitches, and then you're going to change your yarn color to your light gray and make 1 single crochet stitch, and then change back to dark brown, pull the yarn tails just so that they don't have these very loose stitches, and continue on with the remaining stitches until you finish round number 5. From here, just cut the black yarn because you don't need this anymore, so we're just going to cut it and get rid of it. That way it won't get in the way. Okay, so for round number 6, you're just going to make super simple 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. So I'll let you guys do that, pause the video, complete round number 6, and then come back and we will continue the next round. All you want to do, just at that last 18th stitch of round number 6, you're going to change the yarn color back to your dark gray. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of a loose yarn tail here so that we don't tighten the circle, the circumference of the circle. We want to keep that nice and loose, or as loose as we can. Make a slip stitch, chain 1, and now we are ready to begin the next round. So this is round number 7 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in round number 7, we're going to be working in these back loops. And for the very first one, grab your brown yarn and just weave that over the top of the hook to secure it in place. So there we go, the first back loop is done, and I want you to continue all the way around 18 single crochet stitches, but in the back loops. Okay, so for round number 8, again, super simple, just 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. So I'll let you guys do that. I need to add some more gray yarn as I do that, but pause the video, come back once you finish round number 8. And just finish on that 18th stitch as well, because we will change yarn colors there as well. So here we are at the end of round number 8 on our last stitch, and all we're going to do is grab some lighter brown colored yarn. And so we'll just weave that through and then make, as normal, a slip stitch, but incorporate these two colors, these little yarn tails, as you do that to secure it in place, and then chain 1. Okay, so in round 9 we're going to do the following: 1 single crochet stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 single crochet stitches. Then change your yarn color to gray or light gray. Leave a little bit of a space, don't pull it so much. Just like that. Then make an additional 3 single crochet stitches in light gray. And then you will change back to your lighter brown. And continue off now till the end of this round number 9, I do believe, with single crochet stitches all the way around. Super easy. And look at that, we're done. Slip stitch, chain 1. Alright, so for this next round we are actually going to be adding the arms at the same time. So we need to make sure we're doing this all correctly. So let's start off with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 single crochet stitches first. And this is the point now where we want to change your yarn color to flesh pink. So grab some flesh pink colored yarn, and just like we've been doing this entire time, you want to change the color to flesh pink on that 4th single crochet stitch. Hold the yarn tails here so we don't have this loose, and then you're going to make a spike bubble stitch as normal. So you don't come here, but you come further below or elongated, and make sure you wrap at the same time. Then pull up the yarn and pull through 2, and just repeat that another 2 times. So wrap the yarn, elongated stitch space, pull up the yarn and pull it through 2. Now we have 4 loops on the hook, and this is where we're going to change back to our light brown. Weave through all 4 loops on the hook and make an additional 2 single crochet stitches in light brown. Change the color to gray. Give yourself a little bit of slack on your yarn as well. Make an additional 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And this is where you change to light brown again. And make an additional 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2. And this is where you will now change back to flesh pink to make your second arm. Just like that. So not here, but the elongated stitch space is where we're going, and wrap at the same time because we're making a bubble stitch in that space. Pull up the yarn and pull through 2. One more time. Same space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. You've got 4 loops now on the hook. Change back to light brown, pull it through all 4 loops on the hook, and continue weaving the flesh pink just all the way to the end now. 1, you see how it's on top of my hook, 3, and 4. And the reason why I brought it there is because that's where I'll change the yarn color there to start the head after this next round. So we're going to still maintain our brown. Now what we can do at this point is chop off the gray, because we don't need the gray anymore, so we can get rid of that. Makes it a little bit easier for us to deal with. Only 2 yarn colors now at this point. Okay, so, oh actually, whoops, I shouldn't have chopped the gray because we do actually need it. Whoopsie daisy, but that's okay. Let's see how now we can incorporate it after we chopped it off. So in this round, what we want to do is make a single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Invisible decrease just means the front loop of the first stitch, and then enter the hook through the front loop of the next stitch space. Pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through just like that. Now repeat, single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Single crochet stitch, this is where we change our yarn color to gray, which I accidentally chopped, but that's more than fine, so we're going to incorporate it right now. So that was the single crochet stitch, followed by the invisible decrease, and have the gray colored yarn come on top of the hook there to secure it in place. Again, gray colored yarn comes on top of the hook as you complete this next single crochet stitch, just like that. But here we want to change the yarn color to brown, just like that. And then, since this was a single crochet stitch, we're making an invisible decrease, just like that. Continue on, single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease. And let's do this one more time to finish this off. And then an invisible decrease to finish this off, but we're going to incorporate flesh pink on this last invisible decrease. So let's grab the flesh pink colored yarn right here. It's just a little bit tangled, but that's okay. So grab it, pull it through your 2 loops on the hook, just like that. And now you're going to come into this very first stitch space, pull this flesh pink colored yarn so you don't make it too loose, have the brown come over the top of the hook as you make your slip stitch and chain 1. And now we can get rid of the gray, and I will get rid of the brown very soon. I'll just keep it here as I make these next few stitches. Alright, so this is now the next round. You want to work in the back loops only of this round, and what we're doing is making a single crochet stitch first, followed by back loop increase 1 and 2. Let's do it again. So the back loop single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase 1 and 2. And I want you to continue that all the way around. You can chop this brown yarn. Now keep all of these yarn tails inside the body. Get rid of that brown yarn and continue on with that flesh pink. Finish with a slip stitch and chain 1 once you finish this round. Alright, so we've just finished that round there. Now in the next round what we will do is make 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, followed by an increase 1 and 2, just like that. And just repeat that again. So single crochet stitch, followed by an increase 1 and 2. And I want you to repeat that another 4 times. At the end of this round you will have 24 stitches in the round and finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. And we've just finished that round right there. So what we want to do now is for the next 4 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to be making single crochet stitches. So again, for the next 4 rounds we will be making a total of 24 single crochet stitches. That's just a single crochet stitch in each stitch space. So pause the video, complete those 4 rounds, and then we've only got 3 rounds to go after that. Alright, so those 4 rounds are now finished, and for the next round we're going to make 2 single crochet stitches first, followed by an invisible decrease. And I want you to repeat that 6 times all the way around and then make a slip stitch and chain 1. In this next round, super simple again, we're making a single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease. So this time it's only 1 single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease. Repeat that another 4 times, or a total of 6 times, slip stitch and chain 1. This time, as I finish this round, I'm going to pull the yarn through, but leave a little bit more of a long loop here, because this is the point at which I need to start adding eyes and my fiber filling stuffing. And so as I do that, I don't want this to unravel and start frogging itself without me being aware. So we need our 6 or 7 millimeter safety eyes at this point, and we're just going to somehow put them within the lining or in between the eyes and the feet, as you will. So we're going to come up here, and I'll let you know the rows exactly once I know them as well. So I'm going to put 1 there, and maybe 1 either here or here. Eyes closer together are usually cuter, makes the piece a little bit cuter, but not too close, obviously. Okay, so let's see what this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, between rounds 15 and 16. So between rounds 15 and 16, that's where the eyes are going to go. And they're about 3 stitch spaces apart, but again, that's completely up to how you guys want to do it. Don't forget to add these back portions on. I put the narrow end towards the yarn as well as I do that. So just be aware of that as you're pushing this on. The narrow end goes towards the yarn from the inside. Okay, so once you've added the second back of this eye on, then we will start adding our fiber filling inside the body, and you want to do that, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you want to do is grab some fiber filling and then start pushing it inside your body layer by layer. So don't grab a big clump and just put it in there, but layer by layer. So these are quite small portions of my fiber filling that I've just kind of ripped off and then pushed in. And I'm using a pair of cutters, you may notice, to kind of condense that yarn. So here's a big blob. I'm just going to take a little layer of that and continue condensing this yarn all the way in until I reach the top of the head. So continue that, guys. Pause the video, add the fiber filling here, and then we will continue on with the head. And there you can see we've added it all the way to the top here. So now we're ready to begin our last round. And all we're going to do here is insert the hook back where we had that last little slip stitch and chain one. So right here. And now in this last round, you can see I'm kind of pushing my finger in the middle here so I can get rid of that fiber filling as I'm making these invisible decreases. So we want to make invisible decreases 6 times in total for this last round. So there's 1, 2, 3, then here's number 4, 5, I weaved a little bit of that fiber filling in, whoopsie, and number 6. Then come to the very first stitch of that round, make a slip stitch, and pull the yarn through, giving yourself around about 10 to 15 centimeters worth of a yarn tail. To end this off, we do need to use a needle, so let's do that now. Grab yourselves a tapestry needle or a sewing needle, whatever you have handy, and weave that yarn through the eye of the needle. And then what you're going to do at the top here is work through the front loops, just the front loops, of each of those remaining 6 stitches. So remember, only the front loops, guys. Don't incorporate into the back loops at all. So that's 3, 4, 5, and you don't have to pull at this point, you're just weaving them through 6. And now in a clockwise manner, so pulling in the direction that you weaved your yarn in, you want to, I kind of push down this front one here just to make sure it's secure, and then I pull, 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 pull. Beautiful, we've closed the gap in that head. I'm going to come into the center here with my tapestry needle, come out anywhere that I like, and pull again. Watch as I pull, it kind of closes it. Everything is flat now, which is perfect. And I'm going to weave this yarn across the diagonal. So you can see there's these little diagonal slits here from each stitch that I made. So I'm going to weave my yarn across those diagonals all the way around. That's how I can make it seamless. So have a look at this. You can't even see that I sewed right there. And I'm going to continue that maybe 3 times in total. 1, 2, and don't pull this too tightly either. And here's number 3. Boom, right there. From here you can just cut the yarn nice and easy, or weave it further on if you wanted to secure it even more. Completely up to you. 3 times is usually how many times I weave my yarn in from the top of the head. And there we go. So there is the body. Now we do need to make this top collar portion here. All I want you to do is grab some light brown colored yarn and your hook and turn your body upside down. And then insert your hook into the very first brown front loop stitch right here. And all we're going to do at this point is weave the yarn through with our needle. Sometimes it's easier to do this without having stuffed the body just yet, but it's okay. Weave the yarn through, we'll get there. So there we go, we've weaved the yarn through. Chain 1 and insert back into that same loop and make a single crochet stitch. Boom, just like that. And I think it's even better to make an increase in that loop. So let's make an increase right there. There we go. In the next loop, we're going to make a simple single crochet stitch. And in the next one, we're going to make an increase again. 1, and 2. So we're looking good. I have been weaving in this brown yarn tail as well. I hope you've been seeing it's been laying on top of the hook as I've been making those stitches. From here we want to make another single crochet stitch, another increase, and then we'll continue on into the next front loop. Just gotta find it first. There we go. And make a single crochet stitch. And it's actually at this next stitch that I'm going to make another single crochet stitch. A little bit counterintuitive, but the reason is because I want to finish on an increase. So I'm going to make a an increase here. 1. Actually, I probably didn't even need to do that, but that's okay. Basically, all I want to do is finish on an increase. 1 and 2. There we go. I can even chain 1 here and just make a regular slip stitch to finish off that collar. Then I will pull the yarn through as normal, leave myself about 7 to 10 centimeters worth of yarn tail. Cut this one because we don't need it anymore. That was the woven in one. Pull this down as best as possible. And then this is going to be coming sewed into this section right here and come out somewhere where there is brown on the body. So come in here, add your yarn tail through the eye of a needle, just like that. Pull it through, pull it nice and tightly, and then I'll follow that diagonal just to weave in that yarn once. And if I want to do it again, which I can right now, I'm going to go this diagonal again and weave it in maybe one more time. Just like that. And now I can cut the yarn. And now we have officially finished the collar and our body / head. So there we go. All we have left to do is this little necktie portion and the hair, and then we will be finished. Okay, so we're now going to make the little white piece that kind of flows on the neck, or I don't know what you call this actually. Is it like a necktie or a little bit of a scarf, something like that? But we're going to make that now. So leave a bit of a yarn tail before you make the slip knot, just like that. And now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From here you're going to start in the second loop from the hook and just make a regular single crochet stitch, and then continue with another 4 single crochet stitches down the length of the chain. So this is 3 in total, 4 in total, and we now have 5 single crochet stitches like this. And now what we're going to do here is chain 1, turn the piece around, and then come into the back loops only and make another 5 single crochet stitches. So 1 back loop only, 2 back loop only again, 3 back loop, number 4 single crochet stitch, and finally back loop for number 5. And then just repeat that for row number 3. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4 back loop, and once you're in this last back loop, number 5. Now you could either finish it there, which is more than fine, and in fact we probably will end up finishing it there, but if you wanted to do one more, that's more than fine too. So leave it as that, and then leave a long yarn tail as well, roughly around about 25-ish centimeters, I would say, and then pull it out just like that. Now we have kind of like a scrunchy necktie, as you can see over here. Okay, so what we want to do with this necktie is kind of pop it out so it looks like this. You want to have these two ends tied together and this end kind of popping out, and then it will directly be inserted into this stitch space and we can tie it on. So maybe let's do that now. So let's grab our tapestry needle, just like that. And what we might do right here is come into this stitch space right here and then come out one stitch space across in a horizontal fashion, and then come into this first stitch space over here, just so we can sort of tie it together like that, and then enter it back into the body. And then you want to come out somewhere else in the body. Because I have a blunt end on my needle, it's hard for me to get it in there, but that's okay. So there's one, and then with this yarn tail we're going to do the exact same thing but just in the opposite direction. So I'll show you guys now how to do that. So with this yarn tail, all we're going to do is come into this first space over here, come out one stitch space across as we had done before, and then come through the corner of that stitch space and back into the body to hide. Then you want the yarn tail to emerge right in the same space as the other yarn tail, so it's down here, just as you can see there. And then we're going to tie these two ends together in a double knot, one, and make the second knot a lot tighter than the first, two, and then use a pair of cutters, chop off the excess, and using your tapestry or sewing needle, whatever it is, push in the remaining yarn, push it into the body to hide it. And there we go. There we've got our little mini handkerchief or necktie, I'm actually not sure what it is, for Levi Ackerman. And there we go. So now we have the hair to go, and then we will be finished. Okay, let's now begin the hair to finish up this piece. So what we're going to do is grab some black yarn and make a magic ring as normal. From here we're going to crochet 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally number 6. From here you're going to pull this yarn tail. You guys have seen this before, so I know you guys are aware of it now. And then come into your very first stitch and make a slip stitch and chain 1. Alright, so from here, here's the second round. Round number 2, we're just going to make increases in every single stitch space, giving us a total of 12 stitches at the end of this round. So guys, you know how to do this. Pause the video, finish this off, and we'll come back at the end of round number 2. Alright, so here's the end of round 2. Slip stitch and chain 1 to finish that off now. For round number 3, super simple again. It's a single crochet stitch followed by an increase. You guys have done this before, so you should be fairly familiar with it now. Pause the video and let's complete this third round until we have 18 single crochet stitches in the round. Alright, so we just finished the end of the third round and we made a slip stitch there and we haven't chained 1. The reason why we haven't chained 1 is because we're actually going to start making those hair strands now. So what I want you to do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then in the second loop from the hook, I want you to make a slip stitch. From here, you're going to make a single crochet stitch and one more single crochet stitch to finish that. Then you're going to come into the next stitch, so not this first stitch here, but the next stitch across. Front and back loops, just make a slip stitch there. And now I want you to make the second hair strand, which is again chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the same way, you'll make a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook as always, with a remaining 2 single crochet stitches down the length of your hair shaft. There you go. Okay, make a slip stitch in the next stitch of the round and make another slip stitch in the next stitch of round number 3. Now I want you to continue here with chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. From here, again, it's the same as before. Slip stitch, followed by single crochet stitch, and then another single crochet stitch, just like that. Make a slip stitch in the next stitch, and repeat one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Slip stitch again, single crochet stitch, and one more single crochet stitch. So the slip stitch that we did in the middle here is so we can separate the hair to both sides. That's all it is. Now I want you to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make a slip stitch as normal, in the second loop from the hook and make an additional 3 single crochet stitches down the length of your hair strand. There we go, number 5 is now done. Now what I want you to do is for the next 2 hair strands you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, it's the same thing as always. Single slip stitch first, followed by this time 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want you to repeat that once more for the next hair strand. So come into the next stitch in round number 3, chain 6 again, and repeat. Alright, so we've just done that hair strand there, 6 chains right there, and we've made a slip stitch in the next one. Now for the next 7 strands of hair, we're going to chain 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Make a slip stitch as always, and then another 5 single crochet stitches down the length of the hair strand. So this is number 2, 3, 4, and finally number 5. Now I want you to repeat this hair strand right here another 6 times, so you'll have 7 in total. Okay, so we just finished all of those strands of hair with chain 7, and now for the next 2 what we want to do is chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. As normal, it's just your normal slip stitch with your 4 single crochet stitches down the length of the chain. So do that for this hair strand plus the next one. And now we've just made those 2 chain 6 hair strands, and for this very last one here we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same way as we did at the beginning, slip stitch with 3 single crochet stitches down the length of the hair strand. 1 single crochet stitch into every loop. Okay, come into the very first stitch space there and make a slip stitch, and then pull the yarn through and leave yourselves about a 40 centimeter yarn tail. That should be enough length to be able to tie this onto the hair. Alright, well done guys. So you just completely made your hair. Now all we need to do, if you don't have pins by the way, that's more than fine. At least just maybe one type of pin, if you have, to be able to get that centerpiece right in the middle there. So attach it right to the middle of the head. Then remember those 4 hair strands that we had at the beginning, we want to separate it out. So we've got like a parted fringe, if you will. I'm going to pin these hair strands together just so you can see what it actually looks like. But feel free to start sewing, and I'll show you the technique of sewing straight after this. So there we go guys, I've just pinned the hair all the way across. You don't have to do this if you don't have pins. I just wanted to show you how it works out. These were the 2 chain 4 hair strands separated by a slip stitch in the middle of the forehead. I want it to lay right there. So all I'm going to do now to sew is I'm going to start with my needle coming anywhere, and then I'm going to start with one of these pins, have a look where it enters into that head, and have the needle come straight out of that. Now once you've done that, all that's going to happen is you're going to have the needle come up through one of the sides of the hair strand, just one of the sides, and then from there you're going to go across the other side and go directly back into that stitch space, pull up the next needle, and have your next pin and push the needle through that section there. Just like that. And you're just going to repeat this process all the way around the hair until everything is pinned. So remember, you come through one side, come back down here, open the next pin, needle comes through. Just like that. So you want to continue like that all the way around guys. And then we might secure this hair shaft at the top, or crown at the top, and then we'll be completely finished. So pause the video, do this all the way around, and then we'll come and do this last part together to finish it off. Alright, so we've just finished sewing all of these hair strands, and I've come out at the crown top portion, and I'm just going to come across a few of these stitch spaces. There doesn't have to be any particular order here. I'm just going through a couple of them just to secure on this top portion a little bit better. Now again, this is optional, but if you want a more secured head, then go and do this. Doesn't take very long, just 4 times, 5 maximum. You can even get away with 3. And there we go. So yeah, I'm going to finish it off here. I'm going to cut my yarn, excess, like that. Then I'll push in the needle. Use the needle to push in the leftover. Take out that pin if you had one there. And there we go. So guys, that's the end of this tutorial. This is Levi Ackerman. Finished mini keychain. Add a yarn chain or a keychain right in the center here at the top if you would like to just complete this little mini guy. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!